Hello and welcome to episode 109 of the Perth to Paisley podcast, a podcast dedicated to heart of Midlothian Football Club. The Jambos signed off ahead of the World Cup in Qatar with 1 point from a potential 6 after a defeat to Rangers at Ibrox, shock horror, and a draw with Livingston at Tynecastle. And joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss two rotten results and inevitably put his own positive spin on things, like he always does, is Daniel McIver. How are we, McIver?
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't know if you can tell, but Adam isn't in the best moods in regards to the football club at the moment. Whereas I'm just like, fuck it, let's just have a laugh. This is funny. So, this is going to be a really interesting episode, I think, because generally, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, great! I'm chuffed for you. I wish I could say the same. I'm just pleased that this break is here. In all honesty, I can't be arsed. The cinch is stressing me out. Hearts have been needing this for ages, but look, we're still there or thereabouts. I'll take it, but I just honestly, I just want a plethora of players back, fully fit, firing. And the weekend is in a noise, but it is what it is. But however, before we get into the wonderful weekend that it was in the cinch, as it always is, in fairness, are we going to go around the grounds with our midweek matches? Yeah, because when we last recorded, there was two games going on. Hilariously, actually, the first of which was Hibernian going down to Ross County 2-0 as we recorded last week's episode. That was a good laugh. And Livingston, who would, of course, take on at the weekend, getting the better of Jim Goodwin's Aberdeen by 2-1 on the Tuesday night. And then on the Wednesday night, hooray! Dundee United, what a result for them. With a 4-0 battering of Kilmarnock, their relegation rivals at Tannadice. Celtic scraped past Motherwell 2-1 at Fir Park, who, of course, got our game. And the Battle of the Saints saw the Paisley Saints be held but to a 2-each draw by the Perth Saints in Renfrewshire. What did you make of the other 5 fixtures, the 5 midweek matches in the cinch, Mr. McIver?
I'm trying to remember them. I know you've just said, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
Oh, it really does. I was thinking that. Honest to God, this Rangers game feels like it was an eternity ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Dundee United result was huge. Particularly and made even funnier because of what Killy would then do at the weekend. So it was really funny. I don't know. Dundee United are kind of turning into what I thought Motherwell would be, where I just don't know what to make of them. They look like they could get absolute. Every time we play them, we seem to just batter them. We seem to have no problem with them. St Mirren kind of seem to have no problem with them as well. And then other teams just, they're kryptonite. They're so weird, so all over the place, but amazing result for them, especially with their issue kind of being goal difference, and that's a massive boost for them. Celtic beat Motherwell. Kind of looking at the result, you would assume that it was actually quite a close game, and it was by all accounts, but at the same time, Celtic could have got a lot more goals in that game. Arguably, they should have. However, Motherwell simultaneously, I actually thought played no bad. Celtic did look really good, but Celtic looked good against everybody. You can't use that as your benchmark on how you've played.
Hamel ball was in half flow as opposed to full flow.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. The Hibs result was funny, mainly because of the quotes after the game from Lee Johnson, where he seemed completely confused as to why his strikers and forwards generally do really well from crossing situations and training. It's well, maybe because you're playing against your defence, Lee, that just keeps conceding runners a goal.
They're under absolutely no pressure because it's not a competitive environment whatsoever. Yeah, what a bizarre notion.
The Livingston Aberdeen game was a really good game and kind of emphasises why I think so far Martindale's manager of the season. He's just doing amazing things with a Livingston team that on paper shouldn't be as high up the table, but you could say that for Martindale's entire tenure. He shouldn't Livingston shouldn't have done as well as they have done under him.
He's getting every single extract that he can out of his playing squad. I do agree with you.
It's a testament to him. And what was the other game, the St Mirren game? What was that?
Yes, the 2 each in Paisley.
Oh yeah, that was
nuts.
With all the goal of the season contenders,
yeah, that was nuts.
Inexplicably. Yeah, that's the only takeaway after that. Amazing goals.
Nice. I have to say, I'm not a fan of these double game weeks, to be fair. I don't know if that's just because I write up now and literally like going through 12 teams.
You're going to have a laugh after the World Cup.
Oh, mate, that December looks grim. It really, really does.
9 games in like 4 days.
What? I know. And then at the new year, it's just, oh God, I dread even thinking about it. But that's all to come after the World Cup that's taking place in November and December.
Yeah.
It's a good laugh, and obviously, as we alluded to, Hearts would sign off with 2 matches, just like everybody else in the Scottish Premiership before that tournament takes place. The first of which came to one of our happiest hunting grounds as we took on Rangers at Ibrox. Robbie Nielsen made 2 changes to the Hearts team that clinched a crazy 3-2 win against Hamilball and Motherwell and, the Steelmen at Tynecastle. Kai Rolls, who is off to Qatar with his Hearts teammates Cammy Devlin and Nathaniel Atkinson, who also started in this one to represent Australia. They replaced Barry Mackay and the suspended George Grant. Rolls obviously making his first start since breaking his toe back in August. And they lined up as follows. It was Gordon in goal. Back 4 of Michael Smith, Toby Civic, Kai Rolls and Alex Cochrane. Robert Snodgrass and Cammy Devlin in front of the back 4, with Andy Halliday on the left, Nathaniel Atkinson on the right, and Lauren Shankland, supporting Josh Ginnelly in attack. Now, as the self-admitted defensive half of this duo, you must have been absolutely ecstatic seeing this starting 11, Mr. McIver, because I certainly was not.
I was really happy because for the first time in what seems like a while, I immediately knew what the game plan was going away to one half the Old Firm, and I was, as I say, I was really happy with it. The main talking point, I presume, of this game that we will get into was Kai Rolls starting. I was delighted for him, and just again, we'll get into it, but he was fucking amazing. I prefer a 4. I think at our full fitness, our team, we start a back 4. I would go Cochrane, Halkett, Rolls, Smith, I guess. We need a new right back, man.
At present, you mean? Because obviously with Kingsley to come back into the equation, that does change things.
I would just now play Cochrane over Kingsley, but it's like they're both amazing. Like, so it's kind of whatever you want.
Yeah.
The 3 kind of... The ideal is play Cochrane left wing back, Sunday right wing back, and then a 3 of Kingsley, Halkett, Rolls. Like,
yes,
that's great, but I don't think that system benefits the rest of the team as much. But we'll get into that. Anyway, I thought this system really benefited the personnel we had, especially when you think of suspensions to Grant, who was probably going to be at the very least energy in the middle of the park alongside Devlin. He obviously isn't there. Yeah. I just think it was a really smart decision. We didn't have Humphreys, who I think would have been amazing for this game. Just a massive man to hold the ball up and do well with
runners
it.
in behind and whatever. Yeah.
But because we didn't have that, I totally understand why we went with Gino up top, because it makes sense for all of Shankland's strengths. His is not playing off the shoulder and running onto balls. So it was a bit of a different position for Shankland to play, and one that I don't actually think he did particularly well in. But in terms of the actual lineup, I was very happy. I wouldn't really have made any changes personally, but you were not happy.
No, I agree with that with regards to Shankland. I felt as though Borna Barisic is probably the weak link in that Rangers team at the minute. I think Josh Ginnelly up against him on the right-hand side. I know it's easy saying this now, but maybe could have got the better of him, whereas Nathaniel Atkinson just screams, try and shut them out. I know what you're saying. And in fairness, the game plan, as we'll go into, works for a duration of time. But I don't know. I just feel as though if this Rangers team are in as much disarray as everybody makes out, then Josh Ginnelly up against Borna Barisic wouldn't be the worst. Were you surprised to see Mackay dropped?
No, I was delighted. That was another aspect of it.
I'm inclined to agree with that.
And the lineup that I was like, yes, great. And I think his arrival in the park later in the game was when we started to get worse. And just, I don't know what's up with him, man. I would drop him for the foreseeable. Like I would fully drop him.
He needs this break, just like everybody else, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully can rediscover a wee bit of form afterwards. But look, you alluded to the game plan. After 5 minutes, we look to immediately hit Rangers on the counter. Robert Snodgrass pings a wonderful ball forward for Josh Ginnelly. And as you say, uses his pace in behind a fragile Rangers backline. A fantastic interception from Kai Rolls as well to get the ball rolling. Yeah. But Alan McGregor comes out to meet Gino. And eventually it goes out for a Hearts corner. Josh Ginnelly has limitations, and this is where the game plan doesn't quite work for me, because he's not an out-and-out centre forward. I don't know. Like, the chance is what you want. It's what we are hoping comes from this selection and the formation and all that. I totally get all that, but it does seem to crumble in these sorts of instances. Obviously doesn't in another match, which we'll later come on to. But then he's on the right-hand side. So again, I don't know if I'm being too harsh by saying that he's not essential.
I think you're being a bit harsh, particularly this season's Josh Ginnelly, who...
in fairness, he's shown more this season than we've seen all of last season and arguably the second half of his first season at the club. Especially
because the goal you're referring to at the weekend has nothing to do, in my opinion, with his position. It's just a really good hit. And in the game on Wednesday night, he doesn't connect with a really good hit a couple of times, as I'm sure you'll get to. It's just...
One of our better chances came from him down the right, though.
Absolutely. But that then led to nothing because he was feeding himself.
In fairness, there's only so much he can do.
Yes, absolutely. I think we're unlucky in that moment. I think it's a good save. McGregor just makes himself big and does quite well. It's not like he tips it over the bar.
Is that insightful analysis that we're all here for?
Yeah, exactly. He just makes himself big, and Gino tries to kind of... I don't even really know what he's trying to do, but McGregor's narrowed the angle.
Neither does he. This is my point. He's not centre forward.
I know, but he is still a goal scorer. I would still expect Gino to do a bit better, but at the same time, I just think it's a very experienced goalkeeper. Doing very well.
He limits the opportunity, closes it down, makes himself big. Okay. But that was all we did in the first half for me. Again, John Lundstrom opened the scoring when Hearts last left Govan with a point. Should have done so again here. James Sands feeds Ryan Kent down the left. The hosts try and take advantage of a 5 versus 3. The winger cuts back for his compatriot, but he balloons high and wide into the stand. And then on 32 minutes, Antonio Cholak volleys a corner straight into Craig Gordon's grasp. In fairness, you then can't question the game plan. I will go along with you here because it's a half of few opportunities. By all intents and purposes, it appears to be working.
We had the best opportunity.
But does that really mean anything? If we have the best opportunity, we don't take it?
Well, it does at that moment, because you go, well, look, this is working. Keep doing what we're doing and hopefully get another opportunity. Because the Cholak one's nothing. The Cholak one's like...
He should do better.
He should do
for a
way
player
better.
Of his caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, for the whole half, I was just really happy. I was like, bloody hell, we're actually going away to one half the Old Firm. We've set up solidly. I know a massive part of that is having Kai Rolls, who is just... I think he's our best defender. I think he's our best defender. In terms of defensive work, I think he is the best at what we have just now. So that's obviously a massive bonus. But Sibic was in that back line, who the last time was at Ibrox just was a part of a defence that conceded 5, was horrific. He was a big aspect of that. I said that on Twitter. I didn't realise until the next day it was the first time Rose and Civic had ever played together as a two. And you would never, you'd think that had been the partnership for the last 40 games.
Looked comfy, didn't they?
Yeah, they were both great. And that whole half, I was just really encouraged. Obviously, Rangers were getting chances. You cannot go away to Ibrox and not expect them to create chances. But we were limiting them to either speculative chances, like the Cholak one where he just kind of hits it, or limiting them to kind of just having to try their best to work it in really tight spaces, and we managed to snuff that out.
And this is where I do feel for the management, the playing squad, because ultimately they can't win. Had they replicated that half exactly the same way in the second period, I'd be mouthing off saying fantastic. Can't believe we limited.
We did.
Can't believe we limited. Well,
we did with one moment as an exception.
They got more joy and they created more opportunities in the second half. My thing.
But that's always going to happen when you tire.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, had they managed
I get your point, though.
Yeah, they managed to carry that out exactly the same. Like, it's easier said than done, but if they'd have copied the exact first 45, done that in the second, we come away with a point, we're thinking we'd have signed up for that beforehand, 100%. And at the start of the second half, we were lucky not to fall behind immediately, to be fair. It was a great stop from Craig Gordon to deny Malik Tillman. He nudges towards goal after Ryan Kent had nodded Rabbi Matondo's cross towards Cholak. But the chance that we briefly alluded to earlier on, probably our best of the entire match. The conspiracy theorists were out in full force here as Hearts build from the back through Alex Cochrane, Toby Civic, Cammy Devlin, Josh Ginnelly, Nathaniel Atkinson. Lauren Shanklin then slips in the overlapping Ginnelly, as I say, down the right-hand side. The ball into the middle, at first glance, appears to be missed by Alan McGregor, but it's also missed by Andy Halliday at the back stick. I think Gino megs his own teammate who's looking to slam home. I think we later see that Alan McGregor does get a touch, but if we are to yield a positive result, that's sort of the opportunity that we've got to take, is it not, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, there's 2 points on this. The first one is what I and a lot of people say. You only get a result against the Old Firm if 3 things happen. 1, if every one of your players plays perfectly. 2, if all of their players have an off day. And 3, you get a bit of luck as well. I feel that a lot of their players were off it. Most of our players played pretty well, and we didn't get any luck. And that's it. If you don't have all 3, you're not getting it.
The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, exactly.
Glasgow. Can we even... I was going to caveat that and maybe make it a Holy Quartet with a decent performance by the officials, because you often don't get that.
But that's what I mean by luck. Like, you need... That's just a roll of the dice.
Yeah, that probably does come under luck.
Like, for example, a few days later, Al McGregor flaps at something and is stupid, and that allows another team to take advantage, whereas against us, he makes the fingertip of fingertip saves to just take it away from
fine margins. It's fine margins. And again, like, he flapped at Craig Halkett's equaliser at Ibrox just last season.
Absolutely.
So, but no matter.
But it's a really good move, though. It's a really good move. And ironically,
it is.
You probably wouldn't say this most times, but in that moment, you wanted it to fall to Halliday because he was our most informed goal scorer. So weirdly, it was the best person for it to fall to if it had actually fallen to him.
What did you make of said conspiracy?
It's just idiots.
Honestly, you just knew that stuff was going to come of that instantly.
It's just so stupid. It's so stupid.
Only Scottish football fans would have that genuine mindset and belief that he is intentionally missed that. Oh, brilliant. Anywho, that was it. But it was our chances would go. That was genuinely it. Gino after 4 minutes and Halliday 4 minutes into the second half. Because Malik Tillman would hit the side netting. There's another chance where Ben Davis spreads out to Scott Wright on the right. He finds Scott Arfield, who sets up Cholak, but again, straight down Craig Gordon's throat. I thought we actually kept Cholak relatively quiet. The efforts that he did have at goal were pretty poor. And considering he bagged a brace at Tynecastle, again, like you say, we certainly would have taken that, albeit I was expecting Alfredo Morelos to come on and bag his customary goal against Hearts, as he so often does, but it wasn't to be. However, Rangers would break the deadlock on 66 minutes. Ryan Kent skips past Nathaniel Atkinson, Lawrence Shankland, Cammy Devlin, slides to Borna Barisic down the left, and that weak link that I dubbed him earlier on.
That's why I didn't really mention that at the time.
Plays it inside to a sliding and unmarked Malik Tillman. Now, I say this because I do still believe that Borna Barisic is a shadow of the player that he was. But my issue with the goal is, first of all, it's far too easy for Ryan Kent. Only Andy Halliday had been booked at this point. So I'm thinking Ryan Kent has had one good game this season, and that was probably against us at Tynecastle.
He only ever plays well against us. He only ever plays well against us.
So it's obviously a threat to this back line. I'm thinking, if need be, just take him out, suck up that booking. It is what it is. We regroup. Secondly, and Robert Borthwick alluded to this in his commentary when I was watching back the highlights, this was a Rangers team that was low on confidence. To lose the goal from a lapse or several lapses of concentration is the most disappointing thing. And he even said it. If it's individual brilliance, sometimes you hold your hands up and say, do you know what? There was nothing we could have done to stop that. But it just looks far too easy. And given that this is the game-defining goal, that's what makes it all the more frustrating for me.
That's what I was saying in the Holy Trinity, that the first thing is that your players need to have a perfect game. Like, you cannot switch off for any moment. And it just so happens in that one phase of play, it's not just one person, several players switch off. The biggest frustration for me was the Kent situation, how three players don't manage to get the ball.
Nobody takes him out.
Yeah. That for me is more the issue rather than the Tillman cutback to Tillman, sorry.
I'm intrigued because I thought that you'd be quite annoyed by the space that he finds himself in, no?
No, because I think the defence steps up to try and fill the gap that the three players around Kent have caused, allowing Kent to take that move. So I think the logic with that defensive back line is we need to take a step forward to try and do this. Now, it's obviously the wrong decision, but that's what I'm saying about a lapse in focus, poor decision-making, lapse in concentration, whatever you want to say.
And the trio that are sucked into Ryan Kent then leave Barisic in space.
They've all just completely suckered around Ryan Kent. As it was just disappointing because it literally was the one chink in an armour of a defensive unit in particular. I think we lost that, or we didn't take a point because our midfield and attack was poor. I think they all had quite poor games. But the defensive unit, I thought, were just as a goalkeeper and a back four, I thought were great, and I'm gutted for them more than anything that they put in that level of performance and can't say that they got anything from it.
How wild would it have been to suggest that a defence containing Michael Smith and Toby Sibic would have come away from Ibrox with a point?
Yeah, like...
Can I ask you a question? Does that speak more volumes about us and how we've come on leaps and... or some of these players have come on leaps and bounds in recent weeks? Well, it's not been a great time for Hearts. Or does that speak more volumes about Rangers under-stroke misperforming as they are in the domestic scene at the minute?
I think it's a bit of both, which is the cop-out answer. But and I always think this about analysis of the Old Firm, I think too much emphasis is put on when they're underperforming, because underperforming for the Old Firm is a different kettle of fish for the rest of us. Like, if the rest of us are underperforming, it means something very different to one half of the Old Firm underperforming. But generally, I think that defensive unit played so well because of their own individual performances. Yes, you could say that the Rangers team wasn't as prolific, but as you've shown, they still created a lot of chances and we managed to keep 99% of them out. A lot of them were through interceptions. As you say, Kai Rolls was head and shoulders man of the match above anybody else.
Great having him back, isn't it?
it's just so surreal watching balls get crossed into the box and just constantly being headed away. Like it was like, oh yeah, that's what centre halves do.
I know, what a crazy notion to have your centre half defending out the box. Wow.
It's just crazy though
What a
that
thing to
like
be alive.
you
It's
would
crazy that we didn't find another.
if you showed a neutral that and said one of those Hearts players, this is
Has
his
been
first
missing
start
for
for 3
ages.
months.
Yeah.
The last person they'd pick is Kai Rose, unless they were being funny, being like, "Oh, is it the best player in the park?" Like it's just a testament to how good he is, and it's really scary to think that he's had 5 games or 6 games a season, and he's probably been man of the match in every one of them for us.
Looks a really, really shrewd bit of business.
Yeah.
In fairness, we look to get back into the game through Kai Rose's compatriot, Cammy Devlin, who drags a left-footed effort wide. That was after Robert Snodgrass and Barry Mackay off the bench were looking to link up, but the shot is tame at best, I think I'll describe it as, because it really is a woeful effort. Love Cammy Devlin to bits, love his energy, love his enthusiasm, love his just willingness to get stuck in. But when it comes to the final third, I mean... to say that he's limited is generous.
He's the worst person. I'd rather have Craig Gordon on the edge of the box than Devlin. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
Oh, dear. But, as I said earlier on, I was waiting for Alfredo Morelos to come off the bench and grab his customary goal against Hearts, and he really should have done. Couldn't convert after Malik Tillman crosses, given that he got the better of Kairos down the right, an absolute rarity. But thankfully Morelos doesn't make us pay on this occasion. He would then balloon over the bar after decent work from Ryan Kent, and Ewan Henderson would balloon over the bar in added time, and that was all that she wrote as we fell to an unfortunate but expected defeat in Glasgow.
I said after the game, it was just frustrating. I think I predicted last week 5-0. And I think I said by half time. Like, just whenever we go to Glasgow, I just completely write off the games in my head. I'm like, right, we're getting nothing for this. So to have that performance, it's gutting in a way to be like, defensively we're so good. Like, we're so good. But as I say, I think individually, like as players, the midfield and attack let us down. They just didn't win their own battles. They weren't up to it. Whereas the defence really was, but going away to a place... What was it? Rangers haven't lost a domestic game in 3 years or something at Ibrox? Like 62 games or something?
Well, bar Celtic.
Yeah, sorry.
Outside Celtic. I think it was Hamilton Accies at Ibrox before COVID came in.
So around...
that benefited us that day, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was like it's roughly 60 games that they've not lost. Crazy. So going to a place like that, you expect the worst, and we definitely didn't get the worst. We just got a frustration.
Can I address the listeners / viewers of this podcast? Can I ask for some recommendations of hobbies for when we go to Glasgow? I need something to occupy my mind, because this just is not worth it. I'm fully convinced that we're never going to win in Glasgow for as long as I'm alive. I genuinely can't see it.
Do you mean again?
Again.
Yeah, I was like, we've won several times in Glasgow.
Oh no, yeah, but that's it. Like, it's over. It's never going to happen again.
Again, the only way it'll happen is if the Holy Trinity comes alive.
This episode's going to get called the Holy Trinity now, isn't it? I'm just thinking we've not got anything else to say. Nothing else to say on the Rangers game, because that was pish as expected.
I don't think it was pish as expected. I think it was frustrating, and many positives to take from a defensive point of view. Welling, Kairos, and Toby Civic.
Nice. Let's move on to the weekend before I get this podcast cancelled.
Yes.
The cinch was back. Yay! Hearts would be back in Gorgie. Yay! As Davy Martindale,
we were in the programme,
came to town. Yay! Come on! So make sure you got yourself a copy.
I think we have a terrible track record of games that we're in the programme.
Yeah, maybe we need to say to Gary to just can this.
It feels whenever we're in it, we have a shit result.
Have we actually ever? That's a good point. Have we ever won whilst being in the programme?
Yeah, because we were in for the Hibs game, the 3-1.
Were we?
Yep. Because I remember reading that, being like, if we win, this is the greatest derby ever.
Oh my God. And we fell behind after 5 minutes. And I was thinking, here we go. Yeah. Because what was the other one? We got held at home, and was it Dundee last season? Were we in the programme then?
Yep.
Jesus. I think we'd just gone to Ibrox and got a point.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
it's us, folks. It's our fault.
Yeah, sorry, team. Yeah. Maybe we need. We need to dig these out and go back through. We maybe need to start a tally here. Oh dear. But anyway, 2 drop points, courtesy of yours truly. Come on. Before we get discussing the game in Gorgie, we're going to go around the grounds again. I know, twice in the one episode, you lucky devils. As all 6 Scottish Premiership matches took place on Saturday, albeit there was an early kickoff, a quartet of 3 p.m. kickoffs, and a late kickoff, because we're targeting that North American audience. And so far, it's working wonderfully.
I don't even know if it is. Is it?
Doubt it, but you can't fault the Cinch.
We won't know until next season, basically, when the numbers come in.
We've got a plethora of Americans that have just taken up an interest in the Scotch soccer. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Around the grounds, sorry. Rangers dropped points in Renfrewshire after getting the better of us, so that's annoying. As they were held 1 each by St Mirren at the Smiza. We then had Celtic getting the better of Ross County, having to come from behind against the Staggies, beating them 2-1 in Glasgow. Honest to God, had Rangers dropped points and then Celtic lost to Ross County in Glasgow the same weekend, that could have been a heck of a lot worse for this podcast. We're maybe a bit fortunate. Oh, Jesus. Hibs continued nosediving as they lost in Ayrshire. 1-0 to Kilmarnock, stranded at the bottom of the table, but can still get the better of the High Bees. You'll love to see it. St Johnstone and Motherwell played out a 1-each draw that did my coupon at the weekend in Perth, and Aberdeen scraped past Dundee United 1-0 at Pittodrie, not quite avenging the 4-0 defeat that they were given to the Terrors at Tannadice of about a month ago. So what do you make of that other quintet on a super Saturday, Mr. McIver?
The Hibs game was just really funny.
Killian...
It's
never offside in a million years, is it?
Oh no, Melkerson's offside.
Yeah, I think he is.
Definitely, yeah, his legs is offside.
I maybe need to watch that back. I didn't think he was.
His knee and like the front half of his leg is offside.
Oh, if it's the knee, right? Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. I'll maybe need to view that back. I honestly didn't think it was at the time, but the penalty is hilarious.
The penalty's a penalty though.
Oh, but it's just
his foot.
But it's so needless. It's so
stupid. That's what makes it funny, because the guy's going nowhere.
Honestly, he's literally running off to the sideline, and he's just brilliant.
Who was it that gave it away?
Was it Chabraya left back?
I think it was Chabraya. It's like, what are you doing, mate?
I don't know what he's
going
doing
nowhere.
At all. What he's doing.
By the way, I'm just saying this now. We play Killie first game back at Tynecastle. We're getting beat.
Oh yeah,
100%. We can never beat Killie at Tynecastle.
I cannot wait. Maybe that's what I'll spend my month break doing. I'm going to research Kilmarnock's record at Tynecastle and compare it to every other non-Old Firm team, because I'll be astonished if there's anybody that's better than them.
Forget never seen us win in Glasgow. We're never going to see us beat Killie at home.
In Gorky.
Yeah.
We need Killie back down.
Exactly.
Get them punted.
Yeah, that was funny. Celtic beat Ross County, great. The Rangers game, as I say, like the St Mirren goal is ridiculous. Like, we didn't get anything like that. Like, what?
Younger's a handful. I like him.
I know, so do I.
I think he's
like
good
as well. St Johnstone Motherwell, who cares? What a boring game of football.
Oh, see, when I see the goal that cost me that money as well. Fuck off, Motherwell.
And Majowski, no wonder he's getting £4 million moves linked to him, because he
what
just
is
can't
that? Stade de Reims, seemingly putting a £4 million bid.
What a stupid decision that would be if Aberdeen sold him now.
Fingers crossed.
That would be so
Stade de Reims, come on, you've got the deal.
I hope it happens, because he's clearly very good. But yeah, I thought it was quite an uneventful weekend. But then our game was quite eventful, so it made up for it.
I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goals amongst the 12 teams.
There was a lot of penalties.
In the cinch. Well, funny you say that because we'll get to that in the quiz. Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know any stats.
Oh.
I don't know any stats around penalties.
Oh, I had to get you back after my shocker last week.
And I guarantee I won't get multiple choice options for that.
Oh no, you got multiple choice. But
okay,
yeah, we'll come to that. But yes, you were right. I mean, the cinch. Oh, honestly, the cinch needs a break. It does. It's just that last weekend was absolutely rank rotten, and that's reflected in the results. Great that it's taken a month off, and Australia can fly the flag for us, given that virtually, I think it's like 13 players.
It's an SPFL All-Star
select. Exactly. It really is. Come on, the Aussies. But Livingston and David Martindale would await Heart Midlothian in Gorgate on Saturday. Hearts would make, let's have a little look, 2 changes, I believe.
So. Yeah.
Barry Mackay returned to the starting lineup along with Orestes Kiomertsoglu, Nathaniel Atkinson and Cammy Devlin both moving onto the bench. Craig Halkett was named back amongst the substitutes, which I know that you'll be delighted with following his return from injury. His first involvement in a matchday squad since picking up that injury in Latvia. And Hearts lined up as follows. It was Gordon in goal. I've just realised that this isn't in order, so I've done a fantastic job here. Michael Smith, Kai Rose, Toby Civic and Alex Cochrane at the back, unchanged. Kiomertsoglu.
Yep.
Snodgrass.
Yep.
Halliday. Yeah, and Mackay and Janelli supporting Shankland.
Yes.
Jesus, got there in the end. Sorry about that. Your thoughts with regards to the 11 and where they were all playing, because you've obviously done a better job than I have here.
You also missed a point. Halliday got hurt in the warm-up and he had to pull out.
Yes, I did. Cammy Devlin came back in. That's right. That's right.
That to me,
I've definitely not lifted this off the Hearts website, and they definitely didn't update it.
Don't blame the Hearts website for this.
I saw it on Twitter. To be fair, there was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry. So that to me says we voluntarily dropped Devlin for Australia, which annoys me a wee bit.
Oh.
Because obviously I want Australia to do well, but I don't really give a shit in the grand scheme of things. Like,
wow,
I care about Hearts, and Devlin makes us better. So
I'm going to message Cammy and tell him that you said that. You heard it here from your biggest fan, Cammy. He does not give a shit about Australia's fortunes.
I care more about you as an individual playing for my team. I want them to go and just go through Mbappe and Chukwuemeni and all that and get man of the match. But so before that, beat Livingston.
So you're happy to see Natiak on the bench, but
he
Devlin,
picked up a niggle.
You weren't happy. Yeah, Ibrox, to be fair. Yeah.
Rolls, I assume, this is just my assumption, that Australia probably said they wanted Rolls to play to get him as close to match fitness as possible.
Yeah, that's fair. And he'd also want that as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
give him the best chance.
Gutted for Halliday, because, as I say, he's been in really good form. But, again, it's just what a novelty, having options on a bench for once in a million years. It allowed Devlin to come on, which was great.
Having a great squad and picking up results. The two going in tandem, never.
Yeah. I was happy to see Keogh back, because as I said last time, I felt it was a bit unfair for him to get dropped after a really good performance.
Mind you, I say picking up great results. Yeah, this wasn't a great result.
Hey, you said it, no me. You said it.
I've fallen into the trap here. I see exactly what you've done. And
you've done. It's all right. Overall, I was very happy with the team. I was thinking, this is good. Should be fine. But
this is good, but piss off the guitar.
Yes. As I said in the show last week, I was worried about Livingston because they're just a very well-drilled, know what they're doing side. And I assumed they would cause us problems, as they did in the game.
And they would do so after less than a minute. Sean Kelly's free kick clipped into the box. Jack Fitzwater looks to rescue it at the back stick. before Stephen Kelly eventually sends a tame volley for Gordon to gather. However, after 10 minutes, a massive chance for us to in fact net the opener, and we probably should have done. Keogh sprays it wide to Barry Mackay, finds the overlapping Alex Cochrane, centres for Shankland, who blazes high into the Roseburn stand. He's got a score for me, and you know that I'm a massive Lawrence Shankland fan. It's perhaps harsh, given I'm aware that it's obviously on his left foot, but he's a matter of yards. I think he's 6-7 yards out, and maybe that's just how highly I rate him, that I believe that a player of his calibre should score that chance.
I expect any forward to score that chance. That's a sitter. Like, that's a big miss. It's Cochrane's played it perfectly to him. It doesn't bobble or anything. It's
wicked delivery.
Yeah, it's hit him with pace. So he doesn't need to add power. He just needs to place it. And I think he adds power and he leans back as he hits it.
Again,
it's just
go over the ball.
It's just a massive mess. And I thought, that's 2 games now where Shankland's kind of been off it. I felt, though, in terms of attacking play, I actually felt Shankland's all-round play in this game was really good.
Oh, he was everywhere. Could have scored a barrel load, to be honest. That was the only thing that he was probably missing, was a finisher too.
Yeah, he actually had a really good game overall against Livy. It was just like, oh, I got... But it's such a weird thing. I just now... Maybe we are being a bit too harsh on him, because now I am just like, oh, I just expect him to score every week now. So when he doesn't, I'm like, well, he's not had a good game, which isn't how it works at all, because he did have a very good game overall.
There's games where you actually feel as though he does nothing and pops up. And there's games where he does everything but doesn't score.
It's one of the two. Yeah,
like I'd love for both to be in tandem. Yeah. I.e., he'd be everywhere, he scored barrel loads, or if he's not at it, then Humphreys or arguably Boyce, if fully fit, can come back in. But needless to say, that's not the case at the minute. It's really sad. Yeah. But Josh Janelli had a great chance as well. He looked to dig the onrushing Ivan Konovalov, the backup Livingston goalkeeper, on the angle after receiving from Cammy Devlin. Shankland spews up passes up a couple other great opportunities, the first of which comes on 25 minutes. He skews his effort from a Barry Mackay corner into his grasp, and he can't connect to a parry following a Mackay cross down the left, and Jack Fitzwater eventually clears. I actually felt as though he should have scored that one again. And again, like just before half-time, he nearly scored as he saw his name in lights. The lights obviously turning on themselves at Tynecastle during this chance.
Which isn't allowed, by the way. That's not allowed. No, my dad was telling me you're not allowed to turn the lights on during a game. Even if it's like really dark, you have to wait until half time.
See, that does make sense. So I wonder what happens. I wonder if this is like one of these hypothetical what if moments where had Lawrence Shankland scored, does that get pulled back?
Yeah.
What happens?
I would have loved
to have known.
I don't think it would get pulled back. I think Livy would have been annoyed.
Raging. It was the keeper's just looking up at Shankland and he gets blinded by the lights.
Especially because they're the new LED ones, which are fucking bright lights.
Jesus. I hate LED lights. See when you're driving and some joker up the back is just... oh my God, man.
I didn't actually realise in that moment how dark it was until the lights came on. I was sat and I was like, oh yeah, I could barely see anything. What was happening? But
you're such an old man. First it was the back last week, and you're like, just leave forward.
I had my glasses this week. I remember my glasses. Overall, though, I thought we had a really good half. I actually thought we were quite good.
Just can't finish our dinner. Just same shit.
It was just like
disabled. I've seen this story so many times.
Yeah, it was like, oh, don't worry,
dominate them, completely outplay them, carve chances of plenty. Just don't take them.
Yeah, I just thought we had a good game. I'll tell you who I didn't think had a good game on Saturday, and that'll kind of continue in the second half. I thought this was Snodgrass's worst game for us.
Oh, interesting.
I saw his...
But he set the bar high, to be fair.
But he had something like 50% pass accuracy or something, and that's his thing. Like, his thing is to link up, and he just kept losing it, like, all the time. He's at fault for their goal, and just, like...
What, he and Smith?
I've just realised he's not at fault for their goal. I'm thinking of a different goal. But I'm thinking of the.
You're thinking of a chance that they probably should score.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of the Motherwell game where he gave the ball away in the Motherwell game, which is ages ago.
Jesus.
But and again, I'm not now being like, yeah, Robert, come on,
fix up or do one.
He's been very good so far, and he just had a bit of an off game because he had played at Ibrox 4 days ago, and he is in his late 30s now.
This is the thing, like, we're talking about Shanklin just there, him not performing, we don't score. Talking about Snodgrass, if he doesn't perform, like, there's concern in the middle of the park. Why is it that Hearts have an abundance of resources in comparison to other Scottish top-tier teams, yet a few seasons ago we were so dependent on one player? Like, it used to be Jamie Walker, then it was Stephen Naismith. Now it's like, albeit there's like,
I was going to say, I don't think
more,
this season is an example of that.
But I don't know how that can happen. Like,
I don't think that's been a thing for us for the last couple of years, though.
It's not, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
I do,
all it takes is like a couple key performers, and we're nowhere near the same team. How can that be?
I think that is the way for every team, but we don't notice it as much because we don't watch every team. There will be Killie fans going, like, look at Armstrong.
Yeah, if Kyle Lafferty doesn't bag, or if they're missing him for 10 games, then they're a totally different side or whatever. I do get that. That's maybe just football generally.
Yeah, like every team will have it, but it's just to different levels that you expect it to happen at.
Only ours are either shit hot or shit.
Yeah, basically. Aye. But overall, I thought actually it was a pretty decent first half, and I thought if that continued, we'd be all right.
Yeah, it literally missed anything but a goal, and Shanklin could have had 2 or 3 on another day.
Yeah.
There was this little spell toward the end of the first half, right before the half blew actually, where Livingston were cranking up the heat, so to speak. Like, Kai Rolls knocked bang for a Livy corner when Gordon could only parry a Sean Kelly effort. He hadn't had a lot to do, Craig Gordon, but was nearly caught off guard. The resulting corners then blocked after Stephen Kelly tries to head home from Montagno's shot, turned cross. Again, like you said, when McGregor does very well to make himself big at the back post to deny Kelly on this occasion. And then from that resulting corner, Jack Fitzwater's effort scrambled off the line, I think by Josh Ginnelly possibly, although it looks like Gordon dives and gets a hand on it, and Kai Rolls then boots clear. But they were certainly beginning to sort of crank up the pressure, just as the moaning and groaning was taking place, as it so often does at Tynecastle Park. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. It just
does my head in. Like, there was some boos at halftime. There wasn't a lot of them, right? There wasn't a lot of them. I'm not going to try and pretend it was the entirety of, like, the entire Wheatfield was up in arms. But there was some boos, and it's like, come on! We're playing quite well. I know we've not scored yet, but we're clearly beating the better side. Yeah. Like, not everything. And I saw people speaking about this on Twitter. I saw it through Craig Fowler. But it's like, every time we don't win, folk like you are just like, Nielsen, what happens? Is the talks about his future? It's like, I'm
saying nothing. My attention was occupied elsewhere, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but generally, I mean, in terms of you and Robbie Nielsen's relationship.
No, as a manager, I would never question.
Yeah, because you get made embarrassed by James McFadden. That's what happens. It's just, I'm so bored now by the discourse around Robbie. I have no opinion of it anymore. It's just boring.
Do you know what actually is remarkable to me is that I actually feel as though he's doing a better job this season.
Yeah, of course he is.
We've not reaped the rewards yet.
Because look at what he's up against this season.
And there's more of a discontent.
Yeah, because
like last season, really, we finished third because everybody else was rank. This season, we're there.
We were also really good,
and we're fighting with several others that are supposedly brilliant. Like this Aberdeen team. Aberdeen are mouthing off as though it's the best team that they've had for 3-4 years. This Livingston team are media darlings.
Yeah,
because of Martindale's ability to pluck out results. You've got St Johnstone, who are defying all the odds and are somehow in the top
Inexplicably
six.
just being great.
St Mirren, again, another team who are so strong in Paisley and are shit hot at home, but just can't seem to replicate that on their travels, because if they did, they'd be third. You've got a Hibs team that are toiling a wee bit, but seem to pick up streaks whereby they were winning a couple, then losing a couple. Now they're going to continue, hopefully, losing a couple and be stuck down there and we can leave them behind. But we're scrapping out with all these other teams, and it actually is quite interesting. I think it's a much better league than it was last season. He's doing a better job. But I still have some frustrations, albeit not as much as others in this game, because there's nothing more that he can do on this occasion. He can't put the ball in the back of the net here. It's just through shocking finishing and not taking our chances that we don't walk away with 3 points in this one, which is annoying. And I get it. And I was frustrated. I barely celebrated the goal, to be honest, because I was like, 1 each. It's not really appeasing me. It's not a great result. But in the reality, Livingston didn't pull further ahead. So it's not bad. It could have been a lot worse. I think we just need to rein it in, suck it up, take the break, and then crack on second half of the season, hopefully.
Well, in this game, it got better. It got worse before it got better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, as it only could with Heart and Midlothian. We were well aware of the highs and lows that this football club give you. Hey, I was just trying to be reasonable there, and now you're wanting me to be all negative again.
No,
honestly.
Not be negative. Just, I realised we kind of just summarised the second half without actually saying anything that happened.
No, I was talking about the season generally, but let's just talk about the second half now. Because Livingston were quite unlucky not to take the lead earlier than they did. Andrew Shinnie flashes an effort wide after pouncing on a loose Michael Smith pass to Robert Snodgrass that you alluded to. Mm-hmm. However, the deadlock was to be broken on 54 minutes. A long ball up. Alex Cochrane is left for dead, shoved aside by Andrew Shinnie, burns past him, slides to Stephen Kelly, who cuts back outside Kai Rolls, produces a fantastic finish beyond Craig Gordon for his first Livingston goal in a flash. 0-1. And I want to hear your thoughts regarding Cochrane, because you said in this very episode that you would start him over Stephen Kingsley. Could he do better here? Because in fairness, it's not just him, but...
I think there's 2 points on this.
I'm not pleased. Go on.
One, it's always annoying when it's just a long ball for the keeper.
Yeah. If it's a moment of brilliance again, we'll hold our hands up.
Out of everybody, he's our smallest defender.
Yeah.
So expecting him to... I think he should rise and try and head it, but he's running backwards.
Can I say I'm amazed that they didn't put Joel Newbley on Alex Cochrane.
So am I.
For that exact reason that you said. Yeah.
I think he should header it, but I think his logic is, if I jump and header this and I'm nowhere near it, then the Liverpool is just able to take it out the sky and do whatever they want with it. I also think there is a question of a handball. Because the way... Who is it? Is it Shinnie?
Andrew Shinnie collects on the right, yeah.
Shinnie has his arm up as he jumps, and it nestles on his arm and falls. Now...
is that an unnatural position?
That's what I was going to say. I think in the current handball rules, that should be a handball. I don't think in general football it should, but I think that should have been looked at more.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
But I'm saying
100%.
I don't think it should be a handball, but under the current rules, I think it is a handball.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, that the handball rule is nonsense.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from the goal.
I'm not so sure.
It doesn't take away from the goal. It's a great goal, and it's very much a Livingston goal. And that was the worst. Literally, as the keeper had it in his hand, I turned to my brother and went, they're going to score here. Because I could just tell the way the game was going. And I was like, the worst thing that can happen is we concede first. Because that allows them to just...
And you're that more frustrated. They then bunch up.
That's what they want. 4.
Yeah,
they want that. And then as I say, I found the weekend frustrating, but also in a different way, I was like really impressed by Livingston. I'm just really impressed by Livingston this season. Like, they're just a good team.
I just like Martindale. I know that there was obviously I saw loads of Hearts fans get criticised for wanting David Martindale to replace Robbie
Nilsson.
That's should he step aside? You wouldn't want Martindale.
No, because I don't want Martindale to leave Livingston ever. Yeah, I think he's perfect for Livingston.
I can't imagine him managing anybody other than Livingston. Not in Scotland anyway. And I don't I get frustrated with Robbie's game plan going to Ibrox. I mean, did you actually watch Livingston at Ibrox?
Yeah, the people who don't want Nilsson,
oh my god,
don't like him because he's too negative. For the audio listeners,
Martindale's not the answer.
Yeah, no. For audio listeners, I'm doing air quotes there. The person that it's like the McInnes talk last year. The person that you don't want to replace them is a more negative manager.
I said exactly that. I think Robbie just is Derek McInnes, where he's just got a ceiling with Aberdeen, but there's nothing wrong with that.
He's great for us, so I have no complaints.
I'm greedy and I'm selfish, and I want a trophy or two. That's all I want. And then I'll leave him alone, I promise.
That's the bar. If he doesn't do a thing...
It is the bar. We've had 3 finals in 4 years.
My point was going to be there. If he doesn't do a thing that only 3 managers in my lifetime have ever done, then he's not good. I'm not happy with him. No,
it's not that. I just... Because you know what, you get these absolute numpties the first time that blame him for Hibs winning that in 2016. And it's like, that's not his fault.
That's not how anything works.
No, exactly. That's like that. How can that possibly be the case?
Yeah.
That's why some Hearts fans have got in for Robbie. I've got in for Robbie because of the nonsense that he spouts in the media from Ireland.
Which is a mental reason to not like your football manager.
Because he just...
It's like he's getting all these results and taking us to Europe and all that. And you're like, well, I don't like that he was rude to Brian McLaughlin.
No. Brian's my mate.
Yes, exactly. You don't like him because he basically told you to fuck off.
It was a prick to me.
Stupid question.
It was a prick to me, exactly. And he was arrogant. Like, oh, you've won a couple championship titles.
It was justified.
It was not justified. I wanted a centre forward, and then you were happy with Armin Nandwili, and look where we are now.
Armin Nandwili won me a lot of money. So yes,
Armin Nandwili,
I was absolutely happy with that. No, he wasn't. He was lovely.
Yes, he was.
No, lovely.
He was dog. Right.
Anyway, we went to the 10 men.
The rabbit hole of all rabbit holes here.
Yeah, we went to the 10 men and it was a disaster.
We did, but I want to talk about the response with 11 men because it took 15 minutes, over 15 minutes, for Hearts to carve out any form of opportunity. A Robert Snodgrass corner eventually cleared out to Alex Cochrane, who exchanges a 1-2 with the veteran left-back centres, but only for fellow defender Kai Rolls to nod against the crossbar. And then, a minute later, Kai Rolls from 0 to 0. Joel Newbley evades the Aussie from a throw-in, should score, but for a super stop from Craig Gordon. And we later discover, Mr. McIver, that Kai Rolls was pulling Joel Newbley in the box. A penalty is given following a VAR check. What did you make of the subsequent spot kick and red card, Mr. Double Jeopardy?
So it's absolutely a red. What is he doing? Like, I love you, Kai, but it's the most... So, obviously, I was there, right? And what happens from that save is Gordon sends it long to Shankland, and the crowd... I've not actually seen that moment back.
They think it's a penalty up the other end.
So we think Shankland's foul. And then it's like, the rest checking. And it goes to VAR check, and you hear everybody be like, oh, right, this is probably a red. And then it comes up on the screen, VAR check for a possible penalty. And I promise you, everyone in that stadium for half a second went, was Shankland in the box? I swear he was like outside the D. And then you go, oh, wait, something's happened back there. And listen, it's spot on. It is a penalty.
No, hold on a second. I need to pull you up for this because I can't believe we've left it to this long. How the hell can you still defend VAR?
Oh, of course.
No, it is the worst thing it's the worst thing to ever happen to football. It is.
I disagree personally. I don't.
I hate it. I hate it. It just epitomizes.
You weren't even there.
No, so... I don't care. It epitomises modern football for me. It's so bad.
I like modern football. So
I hate modern football.
I don't. I'm a big fan of modern football.
I know, but I hate it.
So I have no problems with the VR check.
What's wrong with this country? We need our game back.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird time to pick up on VR because this is exactly what VR is for well.
No. Hold on. It's correct. Kye Rowles correctly gets sent off. It is a Livingston penalty. But for the mismatch in Hearts, seem like the crowd believing that Hearts get a penalty. If it was that blatant and obvious, the Livingston penalty, like why then? Why not question that immediately?
No, that doesn't work as an argument.
How?
The point of VR is to see things that a referee has missed.
So no.
So the referee missed it because when you see the replay, Keogh, the giant man that he is just stood in front of the ref. So the ref can't see the shirt pull because there's so many bodies in the way. So you go, hold on, there was this the most blatant pull. This is an example of VR getting it right. VR got two things.
Yeah, it gets it right, but to what extent? To what extent?
The right decision happens.
Yeah, the right decision happens. Okay, but why does it take so long to reach the correct conclusion?
Well, that one took long because the VR officials were going, "We think it's a penalty." Check and went, "Oh, whoever the ref."
Surely they should immediately know that, though. Why are they not watching the game as it's taking place and thinking, "Oh, well, hold on a second. That looks like it might be a potential foul. If the referee's missed it, then surely I should be immediately flagged to say, hold on a second. I think you've missed that."
No, because the point of VR is to allow the move to progress because Shankland got a chance. If that was incorrect, for example, it's like the offside thing. Now refs aren't meant to immediately flag because, you could be wrong. So allow the passage of play to continue if the goal scoring opportunity is still there. Likewise, the VAR officials clearly went, we think there was a challenge there on Nubler and Rowles. We're not totally sure, so we'll wait for this move to progress. It panned out, and then we'll go back and look at that.
No, I'm not having that. And it's the exact same with these late flags from linesmen. What is the point? They wait till you make contact with the ball and then they decide to flag. If he's off, he's off. Why?
No, because a lot
of the time they do it.
A lot of time they do it if they're not sure. So I agree with it in the sense.
Honestly, I'm dreading to get back to Tynecastle. There, I said it, and not just because we've been shit on the park. I hate VAR. Hate it. It's the worst thing ever. I genuinely might not go back.
VR has not affected my enjoyment of live football at all.
It has for me. It's trash. It's dreadful.
For me, so far, it's benefited it because that Celtic game was amazing.
But we lost. How is it amazing?
Because because we're having a discussion about VR, and the VR things were great in that game, and I loved it.
No, that was great because of the novelty. The novelty lasted all the weekend, and it's worn off, and now I hate it.
But for me, I've just been like, now it's just part of it.
No, it's shite. I'm not a fan.
I disagree personally.
I'm not a fan.
I am. I'm a big fan.
I'm raging. But what about this double jeopardy malarkey? Because you said the other week.
No, that's for a yellow card. That's for a double yellow, not for a defender
denying a goal scoring opportunity that he was.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Because he denied.
But Gordon saves.
It's an unbelievable save considering it's with the foot that he kept behind the line, and he swings the foot. It's a bad penalty, but it's also a great save. Those two things can coexist.
Look, Craig Gordon made numerous better saves in the game for me. I think this is fortunate.
I think he drags his foot behind him, knowing, I'll leave that behind me. See,
we're going to disagree with everyone, man. Yeah. It was going too well for too long. We're both on the park and off the park of this podcast. If anybody wants to replace McIver on the pod, I'm taking applications.
It will very much be the other way around.
No. Hold on a second. You can't just gate crash my blog, turn it into a podcast, and then kick me off it. That's not how this works.
I'm the one who edits it. I've got the power of this show.
I'm in charge of the socials. Get it up here.
The two Dick Cottleys fighting with each other.
We need a third. We need somebody that's equally as angry as me and equally as quote unquote reasonable as McIver. And we need we need somebody. Not Richard Cobb, what anybody suggests. Right. Hearts should pull level on 81 minutes. A cracking counter with 10 men. Sees Barry Mackay.
Why do we get better when we go to 10 men?
Honestly, it baffles me. Eh? Sees Barry Mackay, free Forrest down the left. He centres with Shankland and Ginnelly in the front of him, but he finds the latter who can't keep his effort down for love nor money. Skies it high into the Gorgie stand. Were you thinking with that Ginnelly chance, we're not going to get a better chance to score than that?
Yeah, that was it. I was thinking, for God's sake, that's it.
Only the Hearts.
We've lost this. We're not getting back into this. And yeah, I will say this. I thought Forrest had a good game when he came on.
He and Ginnelly should start in the flanks for the foreseeable for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Oh, look at us.
What a moment this is.
Note that down in your scrapbook. There you go. There's the only agreement of the day. However, Jack Fitzwater spawns another great chance to put Livy 2 to the good. Another superb save from Craig Gordon to keep us in the game. Before somehow we don't draw level earlier than we do. This was unbelievable. Alan Forrest works his way down the left again. Konovalov parries his cross for Lawrence Shankland to have a few bites of the cherry, but he's unable to convert from, again, yards out, not once, but twice, 3 times. Just summed up his afternoon in front of goal. However, it thankfully wouldn't prove the last chance that Hearts would get. We scramble clear. Alan Forrest receives on halfway, punches ahead of himself, manages to turn on the jumbo jets, drives down the right-hand side. Io Obalai can only clear his cross as far as Josh Ginnelly, who smashes beyond Konovalov on the right-hand side, not in a central position, to draw us level. Thoughts on the finish, the celebration, or should I say lack of celebration? Yeah. What did you make of that, McIver?
What folk can't do about that? Gino regularly doesn't he celebrate? He does that little hand thing where he's like, get up.
Yeah,
I think he just does that a lot. I've got no bother with that. I don't care as long as he's scoring.
That's folk rattled though. Eh?
Folk were furious at him. I don't care. Do whatever he wants. Alan Forrest just punches it ahead of him. It's mental. I thought at the time, as he did it, I was like, that's a handball. That's a handball. But I'll absolutely take it. It's some hit by Gino. And it's just that final 10 minutes was the most Gino 10 minutes ever. Like, he has that chance that Forrest swings in for the left-hand side. It's like, again, like Shank in the first half, he kind of just needs to guide it, but he doesn't. And then he scores a raker right at the last kick of the game, 97th minute.
The only way that it would have been more Josh Ginnelly is had he scored the raker first to draw us level and then spurred the chance to put us ahead.
That's fair. That's very fair. But yeah, I was buzzing for him. He's just come into a new form in the last 6 weeks. I don't know.
I'm chuffed for Gino, to be fair.
I'm very pleased. Maybe he's playing for a contract because his contract.
Probably. It's always the same.
But I'll take it.
They shite their pants when it comes to the last 6 months of their deal and think, hold on a second.
I'll take it. But yes, we got away with it. And I'll absolutely take that.
Well, I'm underwhelmed by a point. But you seem pretty happy.
We did get away with it.
Do you know what? And like I alluded to earlier, Livy didn't pull further ahead. That would have been a big concern. And that would have been a very disheartening way to then go into the break as well. So, and
I just want to say, final point on it, that's now 2 home games on the bounce. We went down to 10 men and picked
up 4 points.
And didn't get beat. Yeah. We turned it around. It shows the character of this management team, this squad, and it's very commendable.
Just try and find some discipline, please.
Yeah, exactly.
that's all I ask. Yeah. We keep 11 on the park room with a chance. Right, so that's those 2 games out the way. That's the cinch out the way for a month. Thank the Lord. Well, let's move on to the quiz.
Yeah,
we can finally end this episode. Right, McIver, this is a penalty-themed quiz, seeing as I love VAR so much and, all the great royalties that come with it. Bar the Who Am I, of course, because as if I'm going to give you Paul Hartley or any other gods from the spot. We've got two questions where I'm looking for the answer in full, a true or false, a multiple choice, and obviously the Who Am I.
Right.
So kicking off with one of those where I'm looking for the full answer. There were 5 penalties in the cinch this weekend. Sean Kelly, the only player to miss in our match. Can you name the other quartet of players that successfully scored from the spot across the Scottish Premiership this weekend?
No, I can name... Oh, I can name 2 of them. Tavernier and Majowski.
Tavernier and Majowski, yep. James Tavernier of Rangers, Aberdeen striker Bojan Majowski. St Johnstone versus Motherwell was the only match without a penalty.
I don't know his first name. Will I get it for his surname?
Go on.
Armstrong in Killie Hibs.
I'll give you reluctantly. Killie winger Dan Armstrong, yeah.
That's it. I don't know anybody else.
And Ross County's David Chanchola was the other.
I wouldn't have got that.
Unlucky.
Wouldn't have got that in a million years.
Question number 2. True or false? Heart and Midlothian have received more penalties than they have red cards this season.
Right. Do you mean in all competitions?
In all competitions, in all fixtures this season. Otherwise, I would have specified Scottish Premiership.
We must have.
Etc.
How many red cards have we got? George Grant's got 2. Rose has got 1. Nielsen's got 1. That's 4. Who got? Gino got sent off last season against Rangers at home. I think we've had 4 red cards. I'm going to go. We've had more penalties. So sorry. What was the actual? So the
question was: Heart and Midlothian have received more penalties than they have red cards this season.
True.
It's incorrect. It's false. We have received 1 more red card than we have penalties. Red cards. We have a total of 7 red cards. So we've got Alex Cochrane and Toby Civic at Parkhead.
Yeah, I forgot about
You've got George Grant in the Zurich game. You've got Cammy Devlin against Rangers, Lewis Nielsen against Fiorentina, and George Grant against Motherwell.
I forgot about the Celtic.
I've even left out the Kai Rolls sending off. There you are. So it's 8. Is that right?
Yeah.
Celtic 2, Zurich, Rangers, Fiorentina, Motherwell. Sorry, Kai Rolls takes it to 7. Sorry, that is right. And the penalties, we've got Zurich away, St Johnstone at home, Riga away. It's 2 against Celtic at home, and Motherwell at home is 6.
I knew we had 6 penalties because Shankland hasn't missed any.
I knew I'd trick you into that one. I'm fucking buzzing with that. Because I always get the 50-50 wrong, so it's about time.
I just totally forgot about that Parkhead game. And I forgot about the Devil one, to be honest. I forgot about almost half.
The Parkhead one, I was shocked. I was like, oh, hold on a second, we actually got 2 sends off that day.
Yeah.
So there you are. 0 from 2. Can you replicate my donut? I beg. Honestly, there's
back to back 0.
Please. Right. According to Pie and Bovril, how many penalties have been awarded in the 30 fixtures? That's obviously the 5 match days with the 6 games. Since
so all games, not just our games. Right?
No. It's a multiple choice. Since VAR has come into Scotland's top tier. A, 13 in 30 games. B, 15 in 30 games. C, 17 in 30 games. Or D, 19 in 30 games.
Now, I wish I'd paid attention to this tweet because I saw it.
Good. Glad you haven't.
I do, however, remember seeing something like all the games before VAR, it was something like 15 penalties were given. So I'm going to go with either 17 or 19.
Right.
And I feel you hate VAR, so you'd only bring this if it was ridiculous. So I'm going to go with 19 penalties.
That's correct.
Yes! I'm not getting the 0. Come on, get in.
Damn, I thought I could get you there.
Was I right that there was 15 penalties given in the other
I've got the stat here. So there was, in the 63 matches prior, there was 17 penalties.
So I would. That was so close.
Yeah, I thought that you were going to say 17 this time around because you thought 15. Oh, that's annoying.
Damn. Get in.
Damn. Right. So, yeah,
I don't give a shit now about the other ones. I just haven't been.
But how wild is that? 17 in 63 and then 19 in 30.
Yeah, a lot of them are for handball,
Yeah. And
thought so.
like, it's the inconsistency of the law as well for me. But that's another debate. Right, your fourth question before the Who Am I is, excuse me, who is the only Scottish Premiership side yet to concede a penalty in the league this season?
Yet to concede one.
Yes.
Right, well, we've had one, because obviously we had one against Livy and we've had others. We've had penalties against Celtic, so therefore it can't be Celtic. We've had penalties against Motherwell, so it can't be Motherwell. I don't think we've had penalties against Ross County, but I seem to remember Ross County having one. Outside of that, I don't know. So I'm going to go with the meme answer and say Rangers always get them. So maybe Rangers never concede them. So I'm going to go with Rangers.
Your logic is
it right? Is it right?
Rangers. How the hell?
Penalty Rangers, but never against.
Exactly.
Come on.
We're going to start a movement.
Wow, they've not conceded any penalties in 15 game weeks.
Yep, they're the only Scottish Premiership team yet to concede a penalty. There you go.
Well, I'll take 2 of 4.
Hey, you've redeemed yourself towards the end here. I'm worried that I've made the Who Am I too easy as well.
Oh, don't say that, because I now definitely won't get it.
Oh, exactly. I have to plant that little seed.
Yeah.
I'm spewing it last week, man. I'm never watching that episode back, ever. Right. So your Who Am I is... Actually, should I get this man's Wikipedia up?
Yes, of course you should. Why are you not prepared for this?
Yeah, let's do that. Right. Having only played exclusively in Scotland, I began my career at Aberdeen. I joined Hearts from the same club that I left them for and where I'm their record goal scorer. I once scored a winning goal to knock Celtic out of the Scottish Cup, and I scored the first St Mirren goal at their new ground in Paisley. Who am I?
Oh, I don't know why, but I feel like it was less clues than I was expecting, but that was the normal amount of clues we get. Right. Between what years? No, I'm changing it because I've noticed a flaw in this question.
Okay. Between
what seasons did this player play for us?
Right. Okay. Let's have a look. So this player signed for us in the summer of 2003.
Oh, no.
And they left May 2006.
Right. I have a guess in my head, but I don't know if this is right. So,
okay.
Before I ask my second question, can you read the first 2 clues again, please?
Yes. Having only played exclusively in Scotland, I began my career at Aberdeen. I joined Hearts from the same club that I left them for and where I'm the record goal scorer.
Right. That hasn't helped. So, who is the club he is the record goal scorer at?
Inverness Caledonian Thistle.
It works with my guess. So I'm going with, I'm not wasting time here. Nice. I have a guess.
Like it, you're going straight in for the kill.
I don't know if he started at Aberdeen.
Uh-huh.
But he has exclusively played in Scotland, I believe. And my hope was that you were going to say Inverness as the club. So I'm going to go with Dennis Wyness.
Correct.
Come on!
Yes! Good knowledge.
Yes.
Good knowledge.
When you said the record goal scorer,
yes,
in my head I went, that must be someone who did really well there, but clearly didn't do as well.
Yeah, that's it. I did worry.
I feel bad for you, though.
That would come back. How?
I feel bad for you, though, because in a weird twist of fate, at the Livingston game, I was speaking about Dennis Wyness.
Really?
So it's in my head. So that's something that you had no control over, and it's just one of the lucky...
It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah. That's the quickest...
I mean, in fairness, at least you say players that pop into your head. I just don't. So...
Well, outside of Laurie immediately getting Kenny Anson, that's the quickest either one of us has ever got. Who am I?
That was good. And in fairness, you didn't go to your usual questions, and I knew that would be... I was expecting to read the entire list of clubs, and I was getting ready to literally just go, Aberdeen, Inverness, Hearts, Inverness, St Mirren, Queen of the South, Dumbarton, Peterhead, Elgin, Buckie, Thistle, Huntly.
See, I was like, he played for Buckie, and I don't know why I know that. But
Buckie Thistle at 38, 39.
Fair play, oh man. Fair play, Dennis.
Yeah.
So that's 6-2 to me. I'm keeping track.
I can't have only got 2. I really got. That's something for the break. I need to go back and look at all these quizzes.
Oh,
man.
no, I have. Like, you've only got 2. So
who are my 2? Do you have the players?
Steve Simmons and Gary Glenn.
Jesus. Is that right?
Yeah. Because you were going to say Ruben Palazuelos, you didn't.
And David Whitavine.
You didn't. You just kept saying Boozy. You said Boozy about 8 times in that episode.
They gave you Ishmael Boozy to win your players.
So that's the most successful. 3 out of 5. I will take
that. Was good, mate. You redeemed yourself.
Especially because I was off a cliff at the start.
Yeah, do you fancy making it easier for me next week?
I know who it is, and it's someone. I'll give you a clue for the next episode. It's someone in recent history.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'd feel better about that, I think.
So, we'll see.
Yeah,
we hope you have enjoyed. There is a chance we will be back next week to do a half-season review. We'll see what happens. It won't be as long as the usual one, but we'd like to get something out during this time. But
yeah, maybe some World Cup palaver as well, seeing as that's obviously a rare one-off, hopefully, and it's halfway through a bloody season.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is what it is.
We'll see. But we hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It's really, really beneficial to us. If you're also just listening, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. That massively helps us as well. If you want to get in contact with us, we are at Perth to Paisley on all forms of social media. Also, perthtopaisley@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email, Adam, where can they get you on social media?
They can get me on all the socials at Adam T. Kendall. And what about yourself, mate?
I am at DMcIver22. So next week, we'll hopefully be back with a kind of overall mid-season review to see how we're doing. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Kenneth, Monogites!